it.
That's it.
That's the 2018 NFL Draft. What we're going to do, summarize the entire draft for all you guys. Cam Rogers
We'll go a little
here,
bit quicker.
Tom Downey. We started things off on Thursday night. We're going to end it for you as well. And, Tom, the first four on the screen, there you go with Baker Mayfield at the top.
Baker, QB1. It was a good pick by the Cleveland Browns. I think he'll be their franchise quarterback, and I certainly hope so as well.
Bradley Chubb, serious value there in Denver.
Yeah, he's number 5 there. Didn't fill a need, but it was a great value pick there, and you know how I feel about Quentin Nelson, my number 1 player.
All right, let's take a look at Mike McGlinchey here for San Francisco. Trading away Trent Brown, does it make sense to you?
Yes and no. It'll save them space in the long term money-wise, but they still have to find a long-term tackle to pair with McGlinchey now because Joe Staley is getting up there in age.
Saints trading up for Marcus Davenport. Yikes.
Wasn't a huge fan. He better pan out, otherwise they gave up this year's draft and last year's draft to go get him.
Serious value there with Edmonds as well. How about Derwin James at 17?
Great pick. Absolute steal there. A fantastic pick. One of the best ones in round 1 by the Chargers.
Leighton Vander Esch for the Dallas Cowboys, too.
Upside pick there. Freak athlete. Needs some work, though, as an actual football player, but I liked his attitude so far since he's arrived in Dallas.
10 out of 10, A-plus grade here with Tennessee. Rashaan Evans, linebacker.
Oh, I love it. They moved up to get him, had a top 12 grade on him. It was a steal at number 22. I had him graded out higher than Rashaan Evans because he's a better football player, not quite the better athlete yet.
Let's totally ignore Hayden Hurst to Baltimore. How about Calvin Ridley to Atlanta?
Love that pick. Was an absolute steal. Rashad Penny, look, I
That
like
was
him.
weird.
He's a round 2 guy. It was too early. Who's he going to run behind?
Right.
You got bigger needs there. I know you like him, but I didn't like the pick at all with what Seattle needed. Edmonds was a big-time reach as well.
I do want you to chime in on Lamar Jackson to Baltimore in this next slide here. Is the Joe Flacco era coming to an end?
It will soon. And you have to develop Lamar a little bit more. He has to become more accurate, but the upside is there. Closest thing we've seen to Mike Vick. I'd much rather have Lamar Jackson at 32 than Josh Allen anywhere near the first round.
Love this selection here. Will Hernandez going into the New
that
York
was a
Giants.
great pick. I didn't love going Barkley, but Hernandez helps make up for it. Now you got someone to block for him. That's a big deal there.
Nick Chubb there to the Cleveland Browns as well. Let's go to Braden Smith here for the Colts. This was interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit early for Braden Smith, but I thought it was pretty good as well. I love the James Daniels pick in particular. Sutton was some nice value as well.
37 through 40 on your screen there. 41 through 44. Dante Pettis, the fantastic returner there.
Talk about Harold Landry, man. That was the best pick of the first 2 days right there.
True.
Steal at 41.
All right, let's take a look at 45 through 48 here. Christian Kirk, wide receiver out of Texas A&M, fills a need for Arizona.
A weapon for Josh Rosen going forward.
49 through 52, Connor Williams to the boys.
Back-to-back 3 great picks there. Goddard, Williams, and Miller I all graded way higher than where they ended up going.
53 through 56. What sticks out here?
It's all DBs, baby.
There you go. Secondary, secondary, secondary. All right, let's take a look at 57 through 60. There's James Washington to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's Darius Geis as well. Geis slid because of off-field concerns, but talent-wise, that was a big-time steal for the Redskins.
61 through 64 we go. DJ Shark, a lot of people liked him.
He's a burner there. He's got some speed. He needs some work in terms of developing, but the upside is there for the Jags, who took the best player available early and often.
And 65 through 68, you want to talk about value. Justin Reed to Houston.
Great pick. I don't know why he fell so far. I really don't. Maybe there's something wrong with all these Stanford guys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
69 through 72 we go. Royce Freeman out of Oregon to Denver.
I like a lot of these picks here. Freeman's going to compete for a role early. He could be a Jordan Howard type halfback.
Let's take a look at 73 through 76. How about Mason Rudolph off the board in round 3?
I don't think he's the franchise option, but I think he's a better quarterback than Joshua Dobbs was, and I know he's better than Landry Jones, but that's kind of the ceiling, I think, as a backup low-end starter. He's not the franchise guy, I don't think.
77 through 80. A couple of good value picks for Cincinnati.
I love those picks. Bengals had one of the best day twos of any NFL team.
And then taking a look at 81 through 84, the Cowboys get their wide receiver, Michael Gallup.
I like Gallup. I think he tops out as a number 2, but he should be a reliable one. He should be a nice Dak Prescott type of player.
85 through 88 we go. Arden Key to Oakland, Tom.
It's risky. He got the chance he could be Randy Gregory 2.0, less of a risk at number 87, but we'll see how it turns out. They need more pass rushing. We'll see how it fares for the Raiders.
89 through 92. There's the first selection for the LA Rams. How about send it, though, to the Falcons?
Falcons crushed it this year.
Yeah.
They had a fantastic draft class. I'm very impressed.
93 through 96 we go. Ronnie Harrison, another safety who fell.
Steal. Total steal.
Boom.
Should have gone even more like 39. Flip those numbers around, not 93.
All right. 97 through 100 here. How about Mason Cole, center out of Michigan?
He could take over down the road for Arizona at center, replace A.Q. Shipley.
101 through 104. Anything that is striking for you?
Naheem Hines going to compete for a role there. Ian Thomas is the future at tight end behind Greg Olsen.
105 through 108, Antonio Callaway out of Florida.
Risky pick there. A lot of off-field concerns because of use of marijuana and credit card fraud. And then Kyle Elliott, I don't think is the answer. But round 4, we'll see what happens. They clearly believe that Eli Manning is ready to go for several more years.
And then taking a look at the next slate of picks here, 109 to 112, there's Mark Walton.
I like him for the Bengals. Bengals had a good draft. He's going to eventually replace Gio Bernard. I'm a big fan of Mark Walton.
Then Denver getting Deshaun Hamilton there at 113. That was an interesting one. Armstrong out of Kansas to the Cowboys.
The upside is there. I would have preferred a defensive lineman, but this gives them insurance in the event that DeMarcus Lawrence leaves in the offseason.
All right, 117 through 120 we go. Jordan Whitehead, safety out of Pitt for Tampa Bay. Averett there, cornerback out of Alabama.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Will Dissly, but they did need a tight end, so I guess I'll give him that one there. Whitehead I love. I think that's a great pick for the Bucs.
121 through 124.
I like Armani. Armani Watts, the Chiefs got a big need at safety there. He filled it a little bit with Armani Watts.
And it was just a tough start for Kansas City there as well. All right, let's take a look at 125 through 128 here. Maddox there, cornerback out of Pitt.
He's talented as a nickel. If I recall correctly, Rick Leonard was the first guy not on my top 370 big board that was taken, if I recall correctly, but he was on my free agent list.
129 through 132. Josh Sweat fell that far.
Medical concerns are why he fell, but athletically, he could be a top 5 defensive end out of this draft class, if not higher.
133 through 136. You got Jabbar Moore, wide receiver out of Missouri.
Cortland Sutton light.
Yeah. All right, 137 here through 140. Maurice Hurst off the board.
Great pick there. One of the best round 5 picks, one of the best picks of all on day 3. I didn't love the Raiders draft. Getting Mo Hurst, I think, helps out. I had a top 15 grade on him. He fell because of the heart. He's going to be the penetrating 3 technique the Raiders have been searching for. I like that way more than taking P.J. Hall in round 2.
All right, and then 141 through 144 here.
Shaquem Griffin. I owe everyone in the office margaritas at Applebee's because I did not think they were going to take him. I don't even know if I get it all that much because they didn't really need a linebacker, but he'll be great on special teams. I would play him at strong safety and then move him down the box on passing downs, but that's just me.
145 through 148 here. Secondary option there for Seattle and Trey Flowers. Micah Kaiser, linebacker out of Virginia.
I like Kaiser. That was a very good pick there. I'm a big fan of that one.
149 through 152 here. Anything that really jumps out at you? Maybe Avery, linebacker out of Memphis for Cleveland?
I like Avery. That was a good pick there. Dixon's a very talented punter. He is a punter. Dan Cruikshank I also liked as well going off the board at round 5. Titans, man, I love what they did this year. Great draft.
153 through 156. Tyrell Crosby fell that far.
Medical concerns are why he fell. I like that pick a lot for the Lions. Teams that I didn't necessarily love, the Lions, the Raiders, they got great value later that's going to bump up my grade for them.
157 through 160. Take a look at Andrew Brown there, defensive lineman out of Virginia. Conklin out of Central Michigan.
Yeah, interesting players. The Vikings trying again with a move tight end in the latter part of the rounds. We'll see how he turns out.
161 through 164. Jordan Lasley. Apparently he has the hands that can translate to the NFL.
No, he doesn't. He can't catch. He's got drops issues. I don't like Jordan Lasley at all. Tim Settle, the Redskins got 2 of the best nose tackles this year. My notes for Tim Settle said he is a consolation prize for Vita Vea. The Redskins missed out on Vita Vea, but they got Deron Payne and still got Settle.
Unbelievable.
Their run defense is going to be a lot better next year.
165 through 168. Jalen Samuels.
It's fun. He is going to, I think, a third down back at heart, but can play some split out wide, some running back, some fullback, some tight end. He is a chess piece. Seattle got an offensive lineman, Jamarco Jones. Just not a good athlete. That's the concern for me there.
Next slide here,
He's a good player.
169 through 172. What do you think of Mike White?
I just think it's funny that for months now, Cowboys fans have been telling me I've been too mean to Cooper Rush and saying he's not necessarily the best backup quarterback. And then the Cowboys take someone in round 5 to compete with him. Y'all should listen to me just some of the time, please. All I'm asking.
173 through 176. John Kelly, running back out of Tennessee.
Some depth behind Todd Gurley. I like it there. That's some good value at the top of round 6.
Shout out Johnny Townsend, punter out of Florida, going to Oakland. Yeah. Raider Nation. All right, 177 through 180. A couple of Jets picks there. Christian Sam to the Patriots.
Yeah, producer Harris and co-host Harris called that one. We said it was going to be round 4. It's a good pick for the Pats. One of my favorite ones that they had this year because it was a kind of a strange draft.
For New England, no doubt about it.
I love getting Perry Nickerson, but that was a steal.
181 through 184 here. Christian Campbell, Sam Jones.
Yeah,
nothing.
These are going to be backup guys. I don't have any super high grades on these guys. They weren't reaches either, but I think they're going to be average players, especially teams backup types, I think.
185 through 188. Ray McLeod, wide receiver out of Clemson. Deion Kane, too.
Kind of surprised Kane fell. I thought Kane was going to go, at the very least, early on day 3. He's a little bit raw, needs some time to develop, but he could be a nice piece for the Colts at wide receiver going forward.
And 189 through 192 here. Deshaun Elliott is apparently a sneaky good pick.
I know you didn't like it. I like Elliott a lot. He's not the fastest guy, but he's a strong safety with ball skills. You don't find those guys all that often. He's not going to do great man-to-man, but in zone, and he has a nose for the ball as well.
I actually like it now because we address center and guard, too.
Okay, so, there you go.
There you go. All right, 193 through 196. Chris Covington, linebacker out of Indiana, Tom.
Interesting pick, a former quarterback. He is going to be a practice squad type guy, maybe fight for one of those last linebacker jobs. To my YouTube friend who says I hate on LSU, I am fine with the Russell Gage pick. He's going to be a really good special teams player.
197 up to 200 here. Luke Falk.
Remember when people told us Luke Falk was going to go in round 2? Stop falling for it. The quarterbacks don't go as early as you think they're going to go sometimes on day 2 and day 3. Come on, guys. Quit falling for it.
More fun quarterbacks, though. Tanner Lee on this next slide, 201 through 204.
I'm my Nebraska guy on Facebook there. I love you, but Tanner Lee is not good. I know the offensive line was bad in Nebraska, but he's just not a good quarterback. Way too many mistakes to make it in the NFL. I'm sorry.
205 through 208 we go. EQ fell to the 6th round.
I don't know why. I know there were production concerns because he had a bad quarterback. We gave the pass to DJ Chark for a bad quarterback play, which was right. We should have given it to EQ St. Brown as well. That's my concern there.
Well, Cedric Wilson there, wide receiver out of Boise State for Dallas. How about Greg Senat, offensive tackle out of Wagner, going to the Baltimore
Played
Ravens?
Basketball, was a tight end, then an offensive lineman, a developmental guy. He could end up being a decent player for you as a swing tackle, potentially.
Braxton Berrios there for New England as well. What sticks out here, 213 through 216?
I like Kobe Gossett. I thought that was probably one of the better picks. And then Azim Victor, risky pick. There's some off-the-field stuff, and it's just a bad play this year. But last year's Victor, 2016, was worthy of it, even a day 2 pick. He could have gone high, but he regressed big time this year.
217 through 220 we go. Alex, Mr. Magoo. To the Seattle Seahawks.
Danny Etling.
Danny Etling.
I'm not hating on LSU when I hate on Danny Etling. LSU has a lot of good players. I thought Toby Weathersby should have been drafted, but Danny Etling is not an NFL quarterback at all. He is not. I will be stunned if he turns out to be great. And if he does, that is hilarious. I hope it happens. Maybe it's a Matt Castle type deal. Okay, they take the bad backup quarterback. I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at 221 through 224. Javon Wims out of Georgia.
Red zone guy. He has to compete for a role, though, in Chicago.
All right, let's take a look at 225 to 228. Marcel Aitman out of Oklahoma State.
Could be a red zone guy. He needs some work. He's not fast enough, but he's got the body you want to see out of a late round wide receiver.
Next slide here, we've got Jason Sanders, kicker out of New Mexico.
Surprised. I would have gone with Eddie Pinheiro. I was surprised he was not taken. And he got Sanders going instead.
233 through 236. How about Bo going to Dallas?
We'll see. I'm not a huge fan of Bo Scarborough there. Value-wise, it's fine. I just have some doubt he's going to stay healthy enough in the NFL. I don't know if he's even going to get to a second contract at all either.
All right, and then taking a look at 237 through 240 here.
The fullback.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
It ain't dead yet, Tom.
They're changing their scheme. It's going to be a lot more power run there in Detroit, I think, going forward. I'm okay with that mindset for the Lions.
241 through 244 here.
Norton could be a nice backup player. I like Greg Stroman as well. I have a soft spot for a lot of Virginia Tech players, I guess.
Lawler there out of SMU as well to the Rams. 245 through 248 we go. Logan Cook, another punter, going to the Jaguars.
Go figure. I like Will Clapp. I thought that was a nice value pick there. He was in my top 200. He could be a nice backup for the Saints in the short term. Maybe becomes a starter long term, but I think he might be more of a backup type.
How about at 249, Logan Woodside?
I love that pick, actually. He's going to be a good backup quarterback. Very accurate, very smart. Just doesn't have the arm strength to be a real starting quarterback.
And the final 4 in the 2018 NFL Draft. And there's Trey Quinn, Mr. Irrelevant.
Nice pick there. He could be a good slot receiver. Needs some work, a little bit raw, but that's a good Mr. Irrelevant pick. That's the type of pick that might not end up being irrelevant in the NFL.
And that's the rundown of the 2018 NFL Draft.